Hello everybody, today we are going to be wrapping up our topic 2 about integers with our last lesson, lesson 5, and today we're going to be talking about how we can solve problems by ordering rational numbers. So we've talked about how to find and represent rational numbers in the number line, and today we're going to talk about how we can solve real-world problems by ordering these rational numbers. So let's get into example 1. Example 1 says a cheese factory produces cheese in 1-pound packages. Quality control weighs each package. If the package is not exactly 1 pound, it is marked with a sticker, so we mark them to indicate the amount by which the package is either over or under 1 pound. And we want to order the packages of cheese from heaviest to lightest. So we want to go from our heaviest weight all the way down to our lightest weight. Now, because we are marking them if they are over or under, if we have a package that is under 1 pound, do you guys think we would represent this with a positive or a negative number? So if it's under, we are actually going to represent this as a negative number. So looking at our weight right now, we have 2 packages that are negative, A and C. This means that these 2 packages are under 1 pound, which means that they're going to be pretty light because they're not even 1 pound heavy. Which, with using process of elimination, that means our heaviest one is going to be B, 0.1. And now we just have to figure out which one is the lightest between package A or package C. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to look at my tens place on both A and C. So in the tens place, I have 0.2, so I have 0.27, so I have 2 in my tens place, which is basically like you could also think about this as saying that you have 27 cents on this one. On C, I don't have anything in my tens place. Now this is like saying I only have 4 cents. Now, if I was looking at this in positive numbers, I would say that C is going to be my lightest because it's the lowest number, 0.04. But remember, when we're dealing with negatives, we always want the one that's closest to 0 is going to be our greatest number. So in this case, negative 0.04 is going to be the second to lightest. And our lightest one is going to be negative 0.27 because this one is the farthest under 1 pound, which means it's going to be the lightest one. So our last problem today, we are going to have 3 sets of rational numbers, and we want to use this number line to order them from least to greatest. So let's start with A. First, we have negative 0.5. We know that this is going to be to the left of the number line because it is a negative number, so we know it's going to go to the left of the number line. And we know it's going to be in between 0 and negative 1 because there's no whole number here. And it's 0.5, which means that it is exactly halfway in between 0 and 1. So if I want to count my tick marks, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So halfway in between would be on the second tick mark. So I'm going to put my dot here, and this is going to represent negative 0.5. My next one is 1/2. If you don't know what 1/2 is off the top of your head as a decimal, remember to turn fractions into decimals. You can divide. The denominator always goes on the outside, and the numerator goes on the inside. Since 2 can't go into 1, we're going to add a decimal and a 0, and now we have how many times can 2 go into 10? Which is 5 times with nothing left over. So my decimal there is 0.5 or 0.5. And we already know from our negative 0.5 that it's going to be halfway in between 0 and 1. So I'm going to go ahead and find my second tick mark, 1, 2, for 1/2. My next one is negative 0.75. Negative 0.75. So again, this is going to be in between 0 and 1. We know that 7.5 is larger than 0.5, so we know it's going to go after negative 0.5. but it's not actually 1 yet. So we're going to put it at the last tick mark in between 0.5 and negative 1 for negative 0.75. Actually, I'm going to use a different color on that one since it's so close to 0.5. All right, and our last one is 3/4, which we hopefully know by now, quarters 4, we can represent as actual quarters. 4 quarters equals 100, 3 quarters equals 75 cents. So our decimal equivalent here is 0.75, if that helps you. If it's easier to just use our tick marks, we know it's in between 0 and 1 because we don't have a whole number there. And we know it is going to be the third tick mark. So 1, 2, 3. So 3/4. So using our number line, we can go ahead and order these from least to greatest. So our order from least to greatest would be negative 0.75, negative 0.5, 1/2, and 3/4. Let's try our next one. I'm going to erase my work up here so I can have a clean number line. All right, B. First, we have negative 1.5. So because we have this negative 1, we know it's going to come after negative 1. So it's going to be in between 1 and negative 2. We know 0.5 means it's halfway in between. So I'm going to find my halfway tick mark, which is right here, negative 1.5. My next one is negative 0.75. What two numbers on number line do you guys think this would go in between? So this is going to go in between 0 and negative 1. Negative 7.5, remember, would be the same as saying negative 3/4 if it helps you to have a fraction form. So we have 1, 2, 3. So negative 0.75. Our next one is negative 1, which is right here. And I'm not going to rewrite that because it's already on the number line. And then positive 2, which is all the way at the end on the right side. So our order here would be negative 1.5, negative 0.75. Oops, I'm sorry. Nope, missing one. Negative 1, negative 0.75, and then positive 2. All right, last one. I want you guys to try to order this on your own and think and take your best guess and think about what the correct order here would be. All right, so let's go over this one together. So 1.25. So if it would help you to write this as a fraction, remember 1 we can take out. 25, you can do this in two ways. You could put this as 25 over 100 and simplify, or you can think about it in quarters because this is the same as saying 25 cents. So if we have quarters, we know our denominator is going to be 4. How many quarters gets me 25 cents? 1. So I would have 1 1/4 here. So I know this is going to go in between positive 1 and positive 2 because it's greater than 1. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks to get me to positive 2. And I know that I am going to be on the first tick mark here. So I have 1.25 right here. Negative 3/2. Negative 3/2. Let's turn this into a mixed number to help us a little bit. 2 goes into 3. I'm going to keep that negative sign so don't forget. 2 goes into 3 one time. My denominator stays the same. And there is 1 left over. So I would have negative 1.5, which negative 1.5 is going to go in between negative 1 and negative 2. Because it's greater than negative 1. It's over negative 1. 1/2 is halfway in between. So halfway in between negative 1 and negative 2. So I would have negative 3/2. Next, negative 1.25. This is the same as our first one that we did, except now it's negative. So we know it's negative 1 1/4. So negative 1 1/4, I'm going to use a different color since I'm getting kind of close here. Again, it's going to be in between negative 1 and negative 2. I know it's going to be on the first tick mark. So this is going to be negative 1.25. And then my last one here is positive 1 1/2. So again, right in between 1 and 2, but directly halfway. So on my second tick mark would be 1 1/2. So the correct order of this, which I hope you guys got correct, negative 3/2, negative 1.25, positive 1.25, and positive 1 1/2.